All right, let's get into this.
So, you ready for the next liberal dumpster fire? Here you go.
I remember being a kid, standing in front of the TV, watching Ronald Reagan tell Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down this wall. Whatever you thought of Reagan, his policies, his failures, his blunders, in that moment, as a child, I was proud. I was proud of my country, proud of my president, proud to see America stand for something bigger than itself. That is not what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I watched a man who once bragged that avoiding STDs in the 80s was his personal Vietnam clap like a trained SEAL for a dictator. Yesterday, I watched the United States surrender its dignity for a photo op.
Yeah, that's enough of that. We're done with that. There's a reason why your party's approval ratings are at an all-time low. Because you can't figure out what side of the fence you want to be on. Like, you go out and protest and you say, no kings and don't federalize D.C., yet you didn't have a problem with the National Guard going through the streets of Minnesota during COVID. Like, you actually thought that following arrows on the grocery store floor would work. You had no problems with your kids going to school in face diapers. Like, no kings, no government control. I mean, that was all about government control. And I seriously find it hilarious that the party that waved Ukrainian flags in the halls of Congress, that now you don't care about peace. Like, you want Donald Trump to fail when negotiating peace between Russia and Ukraine. Yet you spent years crying about Ukraine. Now you don't seem to care. But the truth of the matter is you want peace between Russia and Ukraine. You just don't want Trump to do it. The fact of the matter is this, is you don't have no meat left on your bone, okay? All you have left is fat and gristle, or you wouldn't resort to the name calling and like literally like, what is this? Like, guy makes a good point. You say, oh yeah, his wife left him. That's where we're at. That's what you have to resort to. And Reagan, as in Ronald Reagan, you do realize he's a Republican that used to make fun of Democrats like constantly. And just PS to the PS, there's no amount of filters and editing tricks that can make that soul look good.
I guess TikTok has found its newest iteration of the Misfit Patriot. Yeah, she was talking about Reagan being proud of her country in that moment, that her country stood up despite his blunders, the things he did that were wrong, the things that we didn't like about him. She said that in the video. Had you not had your head up your ass, you might have actually heard that. And you really have a problem with name calling and going after people's personal relationships after you support a man who's done that for the last 60 fucking years, 10 years of which he's been in politics? That's literally Trump's MO, but now you have a problem with it. No, we do want peace in Ukraine, and we don't give a fuck who gets it. The problem is Trump can't get it because Trump is owned by Putin, and Putin's not interested in peace. Putin's interested in taking over every single piece of territory that made up the old Soviet Union. He's an old KGB guy. He wants his legacy to be the one who put the Soviet Union back together, and he owns Donald Trump, whether it be through video or photographic compromising images, whether it be through his financial ties to Russian oligarchs. He has Trump over a barrel. And what happened in that meeting between Trump and Putin is Trump completely caved to Putin's wants. Once again, Donald Trump went into that meeting wanting a ceasefire. Trump wants a ceasefire, or wanted a ceasefire. Zelensky wants a ceasefire. The European leaders want a ceasefire. And Putin wants a peace deal. No ceasefire, just draw the line so I get to keep some of Ukraine and I'll stop fighting. Which he can't be believed even with that. But what Trump, Zelensky, and the European leaders want is to stop shooting so we can figure out the next move. Trump said in an interview in Air Force One on the way to that fucking meeting that he would be disappointed if he didn't come out with a ceasefire. That was his goal. He was going in to get a ceasefire out of Putin. He went in, he got smacked around by his boss, he got shown the compromising images, most likely. Hey, remember this, asshole? Do what I tell you to. And he came out of that meeting being the only other world leader on the planet to now support Putin's position of a peace deal where Russia gets to keep some of the Ukrainian land that they've seized, and we go right past the ceasefire. He collapsed like a wet taco. And you're barking for it like a fucking seal. Look what Daddy Trump did. He didn't get what he said he was going to get again, but he's playing that 3D chess, right? How long before this new character crashes and burns for the conservative right?